Recording in progress.
Thank you, Zoom.
Verstanden, Zoom.
Thank you, robot Zoom voice.
Oh, we're recording.
We're recording. It's official.
Hi.
You want to kick it off?
Sure. Well, welcome to episode 001 of what we're calling, I don't think we have a name for it. I guess it's our cosmic journey is what we're going to call this. So, what we were excited about doing was seeing progress week over week, I should say, around where we are at and where we're going with our journey in what we are calling our company Cosmic Plumbing. And today's episode is called Time Lordy, because we've been doing a lot with time. But before we jump into kind of where we're at, where we're going, and all of that stuff, we like to start our days with a check-in question. So why not start our cosmic journey as well with the check-in question? And Mr. Henry, first of all, we should say, sorry, it is currently 4:09 p.m. on the 23rd of September, 2023, and both
Yes.
Trey and I are in Berlin, Germany.
Yes, just rooms away from each other.
Yeah, Trey's right over there. And you might hear a dog who is between us right now.
Yes.
So
probably very distraught that I have my
yes,
door closed so that we don't have audio bleed.
It wants to make sure that all daddies are in the room.
Yeah, easily available.
Okay, so let's start with check-in question. Let's check in. So it's episode 001, New Beginnings. What are you most excited for for Cosmic? Trey?
Me first? Okay. I think the thing I'm currently most excited about is being able to use it myself. Being able to, I use Urania on a regular basis. And there are, I think as many people probably know, many features that are lacking, and many things that I've been wanting to add to Urania for a very long time and have just not been able to do for various technical reasons. And so now that we're moving to this new phase of bringing essentially Urania over into Cosmic, I'm most excited about the time when it is actually functional as astrology software so that I can use it myself in my own practice.
We haven't done introductions because no one knows exactly who we are. So Trey, do you want to introduce who you are and why you're talking about Urania?
Yes. So my name is Trey Henry, and I'm the author of a number of software tools for modern magicians, including Urania, which is astrology software that's free to download at urania.app. And it's focused on electional astrology. So it gives you the ability to kind of fluidly move through time and see the planets move in the chart as they move in the night sky. And it's cool, it's fun, it's been a wild and interesting ride. There's lots of people that use it. I'm very thankful for all of the interest in it. And I'm very excited that the promise that was sort of whispered into Urania is going to become a rebel yell in Cosmic.
Is that what you're most excited about?
I'm most excited about being able to use it, honestly. Like just once it gets to the point where we can actually use it, because we've done so much fundamental work to lay the foundation for being able to build this platform. But we're just now starting to get to the point where we can actually do some things in it, which we'll demo in this video. I've also been the author of a couple of other things too, including GeoRatio, which is geomancy software for manipulating geomantic charts for magical purposes. And I also am the co-author of a digital native divination system called Mosaic, which I did with Heather Freeman, who was the artist who did most of the art. And also, it was really a collaboration because many of the features in that were her idea. And so, that was a collaboration project. And so, those are the kind of the three big things. There's been other little things too. I do videos on how to take notes in a magical practice and stuff like that.
Would you call yourself a influential magician educator?
No.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I wouldn't call you that.
Actually,
what would call yourself that?
Yeah, I think most of my interactions with the larger magical community result in shenanigans. So probably more known as a I don't know, magical
Oopster.
trickster
Oh,
character.
trickster. I like that better than
Yeah,
oopster.
oopster's probably more accurate though.
Oopster.
Oh, poopster. Yeah, also that.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said oopster as in
Oh, I like
OOPS, like
oopster.
oops, oops, oopster.
We're adding all the oopses into the pot.
Exactly.
Whoopsie
Uh,
doodle.
yeah. So anyway, that's me. Jake Zukowski, would you like to introduce yourself?
Why, sure. I'm
Oh,
Jason.
wait. Sorry, I forgot one thing, which is that I'm also the CTO of Cosmic Plumbing.
Ah, yes. So I'm Jake Zukowski. I am currently the Vice President of Global UX Research and Design at HelloFresh, but I am moving on. And in my capacity over these next 130 days, as I transition out of my role at HelloFresh, I will become the founder, designer, and CEO in that order of Cosmic Plumbing. And while I do not have a magical background, I have a design background. And the thing that I am most excited about for Cosmic is finally reading all of the kind of standard literature that talks about what it means to do Hellenistic astrology and how we can make that into a digital product that people really appreciate and love. And I can't wait. So what I'm most excited about is the day that somebody says, I couldn't think of a day, like I want Cosmic to be the thing that they say, like, I can't believe that we haven't had this for so long, and like what we've had to deal with in the past and all of those tools and all of those different processes. And then someone's like, oh, thank God that Cosmic is here, or thank gods that Cosmic is here.
Nice.
More appropriately. Yes. So I love doing large scale kind of systems design. I'm kind of a librarian at heart, and the idea of bringing in all of the ways in which astrology can be plotted onto a digital screen so that people can more easily make interpretations, find meaning, and take action. It's just very exciting to me. I love big, hairy design problems, and astrology to me is the biggest, the hairiest, and probably the oldest design problem I've ever had to deal with. Or if we're talking about Mesopotamian times, like we're talking about thousands of years of literature at this
At
point.
least.
And
Yeah.
we're very thankful to people such as Austin Coppock, to Chris Brennan for making these things more approachable for people like us. And we are voraciously reading your materials and watching your videos. And yeah, all very excited.
Yeah, let's not leave Ryan Butler out of that
Oh my God.
equation too.
Ryan has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's a little more directly accessible to us.
Indeed. Okay, so we have 4 things that we want to talk about today. Because this is about time, and this is time Lordy. Trey is going to talk a little bit about what is called TZ location demo, which is really around time and how we deal with time. And then we will talk a little bit about the API, and then through my educational journey into astrology, because you can't, if you're going to design these things, you have to know these things. As part of the educational journey, I've been spending a lot of time getting ramped up on the zodiac, the signs, their meanings, house interpretations, and what those mean. And I can show a little bit of what we've been doing there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I would say, Mr. Henry.
Yes.
To you it goes.
Nice. All right. So let me.
Oop, I just started sharing my screen again. You can see that the problem that I have right now is that I speak enough German that I change my system into German, but I will say that Zoom's German is very stuffy and hard to understand. So Zoom people, fix your German, make it more approachable, please. Now, Mr. Henry.
Yeah, I know some of those people. We could actually make that request rather directly.
Very good.
So anyway, okay, let's see here. So I think I'm going to start actually by showing Urania very quickly as a counterpoint. Let me just fire up Urania, and then I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share Urania here really quick. All right, can you see that?
I can.
Okay, cool. So for anybody who is familiar with Urania, this is Urania right now. This is the current time in Berlin. It's showing this chart. There's many things that Urania doesn't handle well or doesn't do well. But one of the things that it doesn't do well that was really key is there is no way. So while it is possible to change the location of the chart, which will, of course, update the ascendant and the houses for the location, it won't actually change the time zone offset. So you'll notice here that we're still in GMT +2 because there's no real time zone offset. Is a really difficult and thorny problem, particularly when you're talking about locations, because being able to associate a specific place on the globe with the time zone that it's in for the time that it's in is a really difficult problem, especially when you aren't relying on third-party services for this. And so because Urania is just a client application that installs on your machine, it doesn't talk to the internet in any way. It comes with everything that it needs. It's got its own ephemeris built in, et cetera. It doesn't have any way of being able to make that resolution. So when you change the location, it doesn't change the default time zone. It doesn't really give you any time zone information at all. If you pass over a daylight saving boundary in a particular time zone, nothing is accounted for there. It's quite dumb when it comes to this. And so if you want to, for example, put in somebody's natal chart, you would have to use an external tool like time and date to figure out what the GMT offset is for that particular natal chart based on the location and the time. And then you would come into Urania and then you would change the time zone offset. So that's kind of how things work in Urania. Very, very less than ideal. And this is definitely up there in sort of the top 10, like, why doesn't it do that requests that I get for Urania. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for a moment.
Sunlight. The sun is very stark. Obviously, the sun is coming in. We are moving past Urania. The darkness is leaving.
Oh, come on. Urania is great.
Hey, I'm just going off of what the sky is telling me at this point.
You do look very red.
Thank you. I'm gonna move over here.
Okay, so before I share this, we need to probably do a couple of caveats here, which is to say, this is very, very early, a very, very early look at something. And basically, I think it's fair to say, simply ignore everything from a aesthetic perspective and just focus on the time portion of this that I'm demoing. Because as you will shortly see, can you see that?
I can.
Okay, great. So as you can see, this chart is extremely rudimentary. It's not, it's showing placements, but it's not showing any details. It's like everything is overlapped. This is very much just a placeholder. This is nothing like what.
Where are the houses? Where are the aspects?
Exactly.
Look at all these things that I'm missing. How in the world can I do interpretation? We're not doing interpretation today. That's the answer.
That's the answer. And over time, it'll be really fun, I think, just to watch this evolve. But the thing that we're talking about today is, so we're actually looking at my natal chart here. I was born in Carson City, Nevada. This is the time and date of my birth. And as you can see, just here under the label for the location is the name of the time zone. And so this is currently in the local time for when I was born. And now if I adjust the chart to be the current time, you can see that the location and the time zone have not changed. And so I know that it's right now 7:22 a.m. in Carson City, Nevada. And this is essentially what Carson City's chart looks like at the moment.
You also have family that lives in the America, Los Angeles time zone. So we do not bother them usually at 7:22 a.m.
Yes.
One of the things that you do when you live in Berlin with your family that is on the West Coast of the United States.
Exactly. As when we play cards on Fridays with my family, we do that usually fairly late our time and early in the morning their time.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah. So this is all good. I'll also show that while again this is all going to change in the way that it looks, you will notice some familiarity here in with Urania in that you can pick any sort of increment of time and manipulate it and watch the chart move sort of in real time. So that's all great. But the thing that I'm really excited about and what I'm really trying to demonstrate here is if I, and incidentally, this has actually the same exact location data that Urania has for purely the location. So these cities and their matches to latitude and longitude, that database is the same between these two products. We might update that over time. And we have some plans for like, especially larger cities like Berlin. You might be in a specific area of Berlin and you might want to dial that in for lat and long, but we'll get
By
there
the way,
eventually. Yeah,
before
go
you
ahead.
move on, now that you're typed BERL, I see that the second choice is Uberlândia in Brazil. Do you suspect that that was a German settlement that may have happened probably around 1944 or so?
Oh.
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Let us know in the comments, which we don't have because this is not a thing, what you know about Uberlândia in Berlin, in Brazil.
Also, there's New Berlin, Wisconsin, which I think you have family that is
Yes,
born in.
it's not pronounced New Berlin, it's pronounced New Berlin.
New Berlin.
My Uncle Scott was birthed in New Berlin, Wisconsin.
Anyway, so if I select Berlin, you'll notice that a couple of things have happened. All of the planets have stayed stationary, but the ascendant moved. And you'll also notice that the time zone has now changed to Europe/Berlin. This was all done, and you can notice that it happened basically instantaneously. So I'm switching over to Seattle, which is in the America Los Angeles time zone again. You can see that that happened basically instantaneously, and that's because of the platform choices, which we will talk about in some other episode, I'm sure, of Cosmic, have allowed us to pull in all of the functionality for not only being able to map, lat and long to city names and locations, but then also to map lat and long to a specific time zone. And then based on that time zone, we're also using another time zone database, which is a separate thing, to look up the actual time in the local time zone. So that would take into account, for example, daylight saving time. And so this all just works seamlessly now. It's all built directly into the product. If I'm going to switch over to Baghdad, and when I do it this time, when I hit enter, notice the chart will stay exactly the same, but then the ascendant will switch. And now you can see we're in the Asia Baghdad location. So this is very exciting because this solves one of the sort of like key things that Urania didn't do. And I really wasn't sure how we were going to do this when we started out on the Cosmic journey, because really when we were first talking about this, we were talking about hitting like the Google Maps API or using an external service for this, which then makes our application more brittle because now we have an external dependency that we have to rely upon. And it also increases our cost to serve because we have to then pay for those requests. This is entirely built in thanks to the amazing work by open source engineers who have built libraries like TZData in the Elixir ecosystem and TZworld for time zone location lookup, and at some point we'll probably do some kind of like rundown, and Cosmic will also have like a thank you page for all of the open source software that we rely on, which is a lot. And also, by the way, every single thing that runs on the internet or any application you've ever used is entirely reliant upon tons and tons of software written by open source people, which they probably did not get compensated for fairly. So just something to keep in mind. And yeah, so that's basically, this was all done in this last cycle. So all of the code, wiring all of this stuff up, and then providing basic presentation for it was all done. And this is why this cycle was called the Time Lordy, even though there's no Time Lord technique specific here. It just
But
sounds
we're moving that direction. You can
Oh
tell
yeah.
we care about time here.
Yes. Yeah. We care about time. We care about getting it right. And this is going to be a theme that I think carries through our videos to come is the care and the high quality bar that we're approaching this with. We're not half-assing this. We are full-assing it. Our full ass is in.
Peach emoji, peach emoji, peach emoji. The asses are here.
Yes, full asses.
You mentioned, by the way, one thing that you mentioned, I wanted to clarify. You said the word cost to serve. So what does that mean? The basic definition of cost to serve is that for every member that comes onto Cosmic in the future, there will be a certain cost that we incur, Trey and I, to make sure that we can do what we're promising, create charts, natal charts, whatever you need to do in order to get your
astrological needs.
Yeah, your astrological needs and your astrological work done. We're always hyper focused on making sure that the cost to serve is as low as possible, because if we start incurring costs, then what we'll have to do is we'll have to charge more for what we are eventually going to do. We shouldn't talk about monetization yet, but the idea is that like there will be a free tier. And if you want to enjoy some more tools and they cost us money in order to kind of integrate these tools in, and you want to pay that amount in order to do that, that would be you giving us some money so that we're offsetting our cost to serve. So Trey and I are laser focused on making sure that the cost to serve is as low as possible, because we don't want to have to charge you a lot of money in order to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we can, while we don't want to talk about monetization, we can at least talk about our thought process and our strategy around it, which is first and foremost that at the very least, everything that is available for free in Urania today will be for free in Cosmic tomorrow.
100%.
And plus, because we already have a number of things which you will get also for free in Cosmic. That are feature requests and things like that have been made in Urania, where it's too early to say exactly what that set of things is going to be, but it will be very generous, and you will be able to use Cosmic for astrological purposes for free, and then there will be sort of like pro sort of features on top of that, which we will use to monetize the company so that we can continue to do this forever.
Forever.
The goal here is to make a sustainable, cool, fun company, maybe end up with, a few core sort of dedicated folks to this project, and have it be a really self-sustaining thing.
Absolutely. Love it. Do you want to talk a little bit about then, as we are now creating designs and we're trying to, what we want to do is kind of feel things out before we start implementing them. And the best way to feel things out is to prototype. And we can prototype in lots of different fidelity levels. Like I can just make something that's static and we can take a look at that. We can make something that's animated, take a look at that, or maybe even put some code behind it to see how that looks and feels. Do you want to talk a little bit about like prototyping that we're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't actually prepare anything to demo for this. Do you want to?
You should just show Jake one. Show the first prototype. That's my crown jewel. I was gonna pull it up myself, but like I got the server running and I'm messed up right now.
Oh, I need an API token. Well, actually, here, let's walk through this real quick. I'll just share my screen.
An API token. Well, let's talk a little bit about that as you share your screen. So Cosmic will have an API behind it, meaning that there is, we'll talk about what this is in a second. Cosmic, it has an API, which means that it's calling a backend service that's providing some data. The data that this prototype, and we use that term very loosely, is getting right now is just the position of the moon. And what it does is it changes something about the drawing, which you'll see in a second, based upon the position of the moon. So what Trey is doing now is he's going into the bowels, the back end of what we have currently today for Cosmic, and he's generating this API token. You're not going to be able to use this later, so don't even bother.
It's this is running in a development mode, so
so it doesn't even work. But like before you add the API token, so what you're seeing here is a bunch of triangles that I've rendered that make a unicorn. This unicorn will eventually be part of a group of figures that will exist within Cosmic Plumbing that is called the Cosmic Squad, otherwise known as the Cos Squad. We don't have a name for this unicorn yet, but the one thing that I do want this unicorn to do is that its magical power through its horn, its Einhorn, as we'd say in German, and its mane reacts to the position of the moon. And so the color is going to change once Trey puts this token in. Because the moon is at 280 degrees, it looks like the first member of the Cos Squad has a blue mane today. And my hope is that when you come to Cosmic and you see non-obtrusively the members of the Cos Squad there, that like there are these little secret things here that like the unicorn always changes based upon like the position of the moon. Like the power of the unicorn is based upon the moon.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about doing prototyping, and while this is this was a learning process for you to like learn a little bit about the platform, one of the platforms that we're using for doing prototyping. And this is a quickly evolving thing as well. But in order to sort of be able to take concepts and ideas and before sort of productionizing them and spending all of the engineering hours in order to bring them to life in the application, being able to sort of quickly get them in front of each other, get them in front of users, and get feedback on them, and then sort of refine them before we get into the phase of actually being able to put them, productionize them into the product, will significantly increase our overall velocity. And allow us to achieve a high quality bar over time. And I think this is something that, both, I think between Jake and I, we probably have, we definitely have well over 30 years of industry experience.
I mean, we're old.
We're old. And we've worked at companies gigantic, Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle, HelloFresh, Fjord, Frog, and small startups, ones that we've started ourselves and ones that we've worked closely with friends and allies on. And being able to rapidly prototype is really a key sort of product process that we really wanted to make sure we have the capability of doing. So one of the very early things that we did on the Cosmic platform is to make the platform, make it easy to ask the platform for example, astrological data, and then to use that astrological data in a prototype. And so this is actually getting extremely accurate lunar positions from data coming from JPL, NASA. This is incredibly accurate, as you can see. And it's kind of happening second by second, hitting the Cosmic backend.
Yeah. Very good. Anything else you want to show with prototyping right now?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay, cool. Well, then that goes to my section, and unfortunately, because the cloud hasn't moved in above me,
you're like moving into the shadow parts.
I'm under the beams, as it turns out. So
you're combust, honey.
I am combust right now, where I start looking a little bit like a spiraled ham. So let's not let's move on very quickly, and I'll just kind of explain a little bit about like what we're doing. What
is the term hamstrung? Because you string up ham to like hang it out to dry.
I have no idea. Hamstrung.
Like I'm hamstrung.
Hamstrung. So I'm curing ham, and that's why I'm hamstrung.
Is that why you're hamstrung?
Hey,
like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment. Let us know.
Let us know
the etymology of the word hamstrung, because that's something that we definitely want to know. I'm going to hide this window, and I'm going to share my entire screen, which might be a little hard to see, but let's just give it a go.
Let's give it a go.
Okay. So there's my entire screen. And what you're seeing here is this piece of software in the upper left is called Anki. Anki, for those who do not know, is essentially flashcard software. And the whole point of flashcard software, or flashcards in general, is to start to learn and memorize things that are important to you. So I use flashcards very extensively for a number of things, as you see here, including lots of German. So there's a German quest. There's a German quest to B2, accomplished, very good on me. The 5,500 most important words. I don't know, I must have picked this up somewhere. Maybe I started making that, I don't know. But there's this one that's called Astrology. And this is the one that was just finished today. And the first thing that I put in there was the zodiacal signs and the houses. And so this is going to be a little bit of a quiz for Trey.
Oh, good.
I'm a visual learner, and so I always have to have like a fake brand. So I created these fake brands using Stable Diffusion. This one, by the way, is House 6. Do you know much about House 6? Don't look at the spreadsheet that's below, because that will give you the answer.
I would say that House 6 is about health and vitality.
Health and vitality. And you can tell it's health and vitality because look at this. It's like an apple with its like weird, I don't know. The apple has an energy to it. I don't know. That was the prompt that I give right now. So in Latin, that's velutudo, which means health.
Yeah. For people coming from the astrological, from an astrological background, these Latin names may be unfamiliar, and they're much more, I think, used in the geomantic tradition. So that's where these come from. Just
and
as
just
a background, people are curious.
Also, another piece of background is that a lot of the content on here is a combination of what came from geomancy and what we've learned from kind of our premier astrologers. So try to combine this as best I can. I will fully admit that this piece of content is probably going to be contentious and people are going to be like, no, that's not what this is about. That's okay. Everyone has their own take on these things.
Yeah.
If you see a gross misstatement of what this is, let me know. Otherwise, if it's just kind of a preference thing, okay. Yeah.
But you have to start somewhere, right? Like you have to start to get a general sort of sense of what these things mean. So
So vitality, which is health, obviously has to do with illness, pets, and subordinates. So knowing that this has to do with illness, pets, and subordinates, I do want Trey to also see if you can fill in the blank on these questions. Should I blank this person?
Higher.
Very good.
Nice.
Will I, something about a dog. It ends in dog.
Will I?
Well, actually, this is probably not very well done because it's about a pet.
Yeah.
Find a lost dog. Of course, that's what it is.
Oh, is that because of dog or is that because of lost items that also fall in the 6th house?
No,
actually,
I don't know, actually. I picked this up straight from the geomancy material.
Okay.
Is it a good time to have a blank done?
Is it a good time to have a health checkup done?
Or surgery or medical procedure? Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Are my blanks stealing from me?
Employees.
Absolutely, because that's subordinates. And then you go through the card and you see what you know, you see what you don't know, you say yes or no, and all of these things. And like I said, it's not just the houses, but it's also the astrological kind of characteristics and metadata as well. So this one, which I call, this is the logo for Visual Studio in my mind. That's not what this logo is. This, of course, is a Capricorn.
Good job.
Capricorn is goat. We would say goat essentially has to do with the goat, but it's like goat-headed, goat-horned.
Oh, I thought it was a goatfish.
I don't know. I picked this up from somewhere.
Or the goats.
The sign that's after Capricorn is, of course, Aquarius.
Yeah.
Before Capricorn, do you remember?
Before Capricorn is Libra? Sagittarius. God, what the hell? It's
fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. We're learning. This is the thing. And of course, then you would learn that it's a cardinal nocturnal winter. It is an earth sign that's ruled by, do you remember?
This would be Saturn in the classic system.
And then if it's an earthy triplicity with the
Virgo and Taurus.
Taurus, of course, because I clicked on the other thing and said Taurus. Yes, very good. And so we're just gonna pick these cards up and learn them, and we'll be much better about our astrological placements, or sorry, our zodiacal placements, much better in the future. And yeah, that's that little piece of amazingness. And I don't know if we have much else to talk about today. Is there anything that you think that we should follow? Oh, and one other thing. Sorry, I totally lied. Give me 1 second. And because I am a designer that is essentially a librarian, I have to do everything in spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are my favorite. So let me show my screen again. And you can see over here, this big, beautiful spreadsheet of essentially the names, the Latin names, direct translation, the traits, and certain questions that you would get. And this is all kind of encoded into those cards now. One thing to note here, and we don't necessarily talk about our tools very much, but this piece of software, which is a web browser, is called Arc, and it's amazing. And if you use a Mac, you should be using Arc.
Yeah,
Arc.
and oh, sorry, I interrupted the URL there.
Arc.net. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, and also will be on Windows very soon. I think they're targeting this year, I believe. So hopefully that will be out relatively soon. I think it's also probably important to point out that we take a lot of inspiration from certain products in the industry that we identify as having sort of very high quality bars as well, that do a great job. And so, like, for example, with Arc, if you follow them on YouTube, they're very open about their development process, about their design process, how they're approaching solving a problem that has been solved many times, which is a web browser, and sort of their unique take on that. And I think also at some point we'll probably demonstrate Linear, which is the project management software that we utilize, which I think also definitely falls in this category of really
cool,
just really good modern software that is just clean and beautiful and fun, and
and that's what we really want for Cosmic, right? Like,
yeah,
clean,
exactly.
beautiful, fun, approachable, but still like professional. I think my
pro.
whole career has been littered with like using play to help groups of people to think differently about either software or experiences, like physical experiences, so that you can kind of visualize the future, you can prototype the future, even kind of act it on a table or something like that, and then you use that to kind of inspire change. And we want to do that with Cosmic to help to bring it more approachable, lovable, and hopefully inspire the rest of the industry to change as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, with that, beautiful Saturday. The sun is bright and shining. It's turned my head into a hamstrung ham. I don't know. Be well, everybody. Take care. And we will hopefully see you next week.
Next Saturday.
Bye.
Bye. How do I stop recording?
You just hit stop.
Yeah.